Hello, welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 403. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a Tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
I went to Club 37's open house yesterday.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I am dead.
Like, dead tired? Your body's dead?
My body hurts.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that we've been doing Dana's workout.
Mm-hmm.
And her fucking leg workouts are stupid.
So stupid, dude.
And so not only are my legs fucked up, but now my whole body's fucked up. And my shoulder was getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore, dog. Back to square one.
Dumb, dude. Dumb.
And I was like being like conscious of it even. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, hey, like if I'd get into a position, I'd be like, oop, don't pull too hard. Oop, don't pull too hard. Don't, you know. And then it just doesn't matter. Whatever. I'm sure it'll be all right in a couple days again.
Just guy things.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we've talked about Dana's workouts before, but she changed them now. So now it's legs, push, and pull, which I kind of like more.
I like that way more.
Yeah.
I did not like her other splits.
And
Because that's bodybuilding splits. I don't like bodybuilding splits.
Yeah. So that's been fun, but the shitty thing is with her fucking programs that she does, which she does it in such a smart way, but it still pisses me off. A lot of the exercises you do for 4 weeks, and then she switches them out for something else. So what does that mean? Bulgarian split squats for 4 weeks?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Those are brutal.
Those, yeah. I haven't been able to do them. My knees have been hurting too much. Seriously.
You've been rolling your IT bands in your hips?
I need to.
That might help.
That would help a lot.
That would do it.
Yeah.
And I know that would do it because I've got similar issues.
I know.
And if I roll my IT bands and hips, because I deal with that in jiu-jitsu a lot, of like my knee will be close to popping often strictly because I didn't roll out my IT bands or hips for the day.
Yeah.
If I get to class early and roll out my IT bands and hips, there's so many less times where I feel like my knee has the potential of popping. So what's that mean? I barely do it.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, there was a time in our lives when Shaun worked at the group homes, and we would roll out every single night at the group home before we went to bed.
It was amazing.
Dude, my body felt so good.
You know what, dude? I didn't plan on talking about this today, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to roll into this first, and then we'll pivot and pivot partway through. But so, talking to my good buddy Mason, and I was messaging him. I was like, hey, dude, I was like, you come home often, whatever, because I want someone for like PT. And he's like, not too often. What do you got going on? So I tell him, and he's like, brother, this sounds like you need to go to yoga. He's like, this sounds like you need to become the supple leopard. This sounds like you need to spend some time doing some recovery and rehab, or like recovery and stretching and shit like that, and rolling. And he's like, and you don't need to spend $200 to go see a PT to tell you that that's what you need to do.
Damn.
And I'm like, I was like, ouch, bro. Like that hurts. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That stings. But it's so true. Because like we know that. We've talked about it many times. When we stretch, when we roll, we feel good. Mm-hmm. When we don't stretch, we don't roll. Like I've got a little rehab, like an hour rehab circuit I do. And it's just for my like mid back through my neck. And when I do that once a week, I feel great. Like that portion of my body is like gravy then. Mm-hmm. And then I have shit for like lower body stretches and stuff like that. And when I do that, I feel great. And then I just don't do it. And I feel like shit. And Mason's there to tell me,
hey, bro, fucking do it.
I'm being a bitch.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, honestly, it's like how I look at like chest. Like, I feel like if you do chest, whatever you do for chest, you should do double the amount on your back. And
our chiropractor confirmed that.
yeah, well, yeah, whatever. But the same thing, not maybe as to the extent, but if you guys ever read David Goggins' first book, he talks how, you know, like obviously David Goggins trained so hard, but he got to a point where he was like almost bedridden. He was in so much pain. He could barely move. He was all fucked up. And he decided that he was going to make stretching his day job, or like stretching his main focus. So he started stretching 4 hours a day.
4 hours?
He was so sick of feeling like shit. He's like, I'm going to stretch 4 hours a day. He said within weeks, he felt amazing. Like he was able to do everything he wanted to again, just strictly from stretching.
That makes sense.
And I'm just like, okay, 4 hours is a little intense. But what if you were to stretch for 20 to 30 minutes a couple times a week?
Right. I feel like anything would help.
Anything's going to help.
Yeah.
Anything's going to help. So, like, if you figure in, I probably spend around, like, my workouts, I probably spend around, like, 6 to 8 hours a week working out. And then no rehab.
Yeah.
I should probably be doing 2 hours, 3 hours of rehab.
Yeah.
At least to, like, not feel like dog shit. And that's a lot of time.
That is.
It's a lot of time.
But we haven't.
We got the time, and I'd rather look cool and be strong than be a bag of mashed potatoes and look like shit. I'll tell you guys what. All right, dude, let me tell you guys something.
This wasn't planned at all.
This ain't planned. We have like 4 other topics that ain't this.
Yeah.
But let me just spell it out for you people that had never been here before. This might sound bad, and I don't give a fuck. There is not much better than being complimented by how good you look and how strong you are. I don't give a fuck. You may have never been there, but I'm telling you what, dude, when you get random people go, damn, dude, you're fucking jacked. Or you roll with some guys, good friend Eric, rolling with Eric this weekend. God damn it, Shaun. I'm like, what's up, bro? I forget how fucking strong you are. I'm like, dog, stop it. You make me blush. I'm telling you guys.
Or, hold on. Or the last example from this week. The fence.
Things are oftentimes solvable for me that might not be as easily solvable for others, strictly because of my appearance, size, and stature. Random folks tend to give me a little more respect. And do I get my way more often because of it?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm telling you, motherfuckers, dude, if you've never been in that boat, being jacked, being strong, it pays dividends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it really helps the ego.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the best way all the times. But let me tell you what, dude, if you never been there, you put in the work. This is all I'm telling you. You don't have to put in a crazy amount of work. I want to see 10 to 15 hours a week for 15 years. That's all you got to do. And I'm telling you, 10 to 15 hours a week, it's a little part-time job, 15 years. It's fucking worth it, dude. It's worth it.
I will say, as a woman, I have not gotten complimented as much on muscles. Like, for women to get complimented, they're like jacked. like Tia Toomey
Typically.
jacked. But
Not quite that, but typically, yes.
but man, when Colin Schwartz came and saw us, and he was just like, "Damn, you both are jacked." I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah, dog.
I really appreciated that.
There ain't much better, dude.
No, there really
There
isn't.
ain't much better. We did not mean to talk about this today, but this is a little PSA, dude. If you don't feel good about yourself, get jacked. Because then you don't even got to feel good about yourself. Everyone's going to make you feel good about yourself.
Quick side note.
Let's go.
I did just see a reel on Instagram, and it was a whole bunch of really jacked dudes at the gym.
Yeah.
And this guy's interviewing them, and he's just like, "How much did you work? How many hours did you work this week?" And they're like at the gym, and he's like, "No, like your job." And they're like 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours. Like all those motherfuckers work 40 plus hours a week, and they're still at the gym.
100%. Dude, you can't hit me with you ain't got time, dude. Granted, like, I didn't, like, now I've got, I shouldn't even say that. I still train, 6-8 hours a week, and I work 40 hours a week. We podcast not in those 40 hours a week, and we got a newborn. Like, is that what they're called still, newborn? Infant?
I think she's an infant now.
Infant. Don't hit me with you ain't got time, dude. I ain't listening. If you're not going from 5:30 to 9:30, 5:30 to 10:30, don't fucking hit me with you ain't got time, dude. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, even I've made time.
That's it.
Obviously, every once in a while, my workouts have to be cut short because baby needs a feed, but I still have been probably putting in probably 5 hours the past 2 weeks. If not more.
Yeah.
So
It's just, dude, don't hit me with you ain't got time.
Just got to be creative with your time once you have a child.
Creative with your time. Get off your damn phone. Just don't worry about TV. You don't need it. Get your shit in. Get your workouts in. And then, you want to know what? I will admit this. It's been a big help having someone do meal prepping for us.
Oh, yeah.
But even if we didn't have someone meal prepping for us, most people don't have a podcast they have to do.
Yeah.
And shit and like other things outside.
Like whiskeria.
Stuff that takes up extra time. Most folks got their job, got their kids. And so you can still get your workouts in. You can still get your meal preps in. And also, dude, most people ain't eating the amount we're eating.
Oh, so true.
And the cleanness we're eating and shit like that. So your meal prep doesn't have to be as extensive as ours.
I think, too, like something probably really easy hack for most people would be just make your dinners bigger and save the excess for lunch the next
100%.
day.
And then fast through breakfast. Fast through breakfast. Have a big old dinner. Save the leftovers for lunch. I love it.
Yeah.
And add a fucking egg or two.
Yeah. Breakfast is also the easiest food to make if you need to have breakfast.
That's true.
Bacon and eggs. Done deal.
Too easy.
Okay.
I like to just skip it if I can.
Yeah, I know.
The problem is, no, let me put this as, I don't like to skip it. I try to skip it.
It's hard.
I love breakfast. I'm like, fuck with me, breakfast. All right, let's get into the podcast.
Are you making me pancakes today?
Let's get into the top. I was just thinking that. Yeah, I probably should.
Dope.
All right.
This is probably also, guys, the earliest we've ever podcasted.
Right now? Nah, we did it earlier one time. One time we did it before you had to go to work. I think we did it at like 5:30 one time, and you were dead. All right, guys, you ready for this? This is the actual topic of the day. Is it worth spending time not on your main business to save on taxes? There's many caveats in many areas we can go from here. Okay? I think the first thing we're going to have to identify, so is it worth spending time not on your main business to save taxes? Okay, let me start with the first thing. You have to identify what you want out of your business. So, I personally don't want a huge business.
Yeah.
It's not been a goal of mine for a long time. I thought I wanted I never wanted a huge business. I always thought I wanted a little bit bigger, or like not even a medium-sized business. Like I always thought, 50 to 100 employees. Maybe someday in a different business. But I like a smaller business. I like a leaner operation. It's just what I prefer. And I understand with that is less money. It's is what it is. And I'm fine with that because I've identified what I want. And if it ends up growing bigger or things end up happening because of, whatever circumstances as we go, then it'll happen and it'll do its thing. But like, I know what size of business I want and I have a good idea on how to get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first thing. So I am very conservative in the realm of I want a savings account before I grow too big. I want to make sure I've got enough sales coming in to cover my guys before I add. I don't like having high overhead in business, and personal life. So I pay off everything before I buy the next thing. That's how I prefer to operate. Now, am I going to get there as fast as other people? Absolutely not. That's not my game. I don't care what you think. You do you. This is me. This is psychology of money. This is how I prefer to operate. So, for me, if my tax burden is going to come in the mail and my tax burden is going to be 100 G's for the year. Okay. And let's say my tax burden is going to be 100 G's. That means I'm making 300 G's, right? Let's just say roughly 30% tax gone. Roughly, by the time you pay everything, that's real.
Yeah.
And so let's say, 300 in, you're looking at paying 100. Now, so you're going to be left with 200. Is it worth then maybe spending a little less time on your main business to then find a way to write off some of those funds?
Depending.
Could be. Because let's see here. If you were to, because you figure you're losing a third of your money, right?
In taxes.
In taxes,
yeah.
At least. Once you figure in like Social Security, Medicare, income tax, state tax.
Yeah.
So let's say instead of making 300, you were going to go down to 250 and spend that extra time figuring out how to write off, let's say 50% of your income.
Yeah.
Okay. So that would mean at 250, you're still paying 82,000 in taxes, divided by 2 plus 250, or is that right? No, plus, 250, blah, 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 blah. No. So let's go 250 times 0.66, right? 166,500.
Okay.
And we just figured out how to write off 50% of our taxes. And so that would put us at plus that 41,000. So that puts us at 207,000 compared to, just making the 300 and paying out the 100. So you're up 7,500 in that realm.
Yeah.
That could be worth it then.
Could be.
You also have, and if you figure out how to do it, then maybe you don't have to spend as much time with it moving forward.
True.
And then you can maybe have some other benefits. You got some assets that are appreciating and stuff. You're getting debt pay down and whatnot. I'm talking more in the realm of like real estate. And maybe you're just putting some money away in a 401k or IRA or something. I'm just thinking of ways to like bring down that tax burden, spend a little time like looking at it and whatever, so that you can save some of your money. Because you guys got to think, let me put it this way to you. If you're operating your business or your personal budget or something, right? And you go and you look, most people's biggest expense is their house, right? Most people's biggest expense is their house. That's a lie. It's your taxes. You just think it's your house.
Yeah.
Because you don't see your taxes. So what if I told you there's a way to not pay your mortgage?
That'd be cool.
Would it be worth spending some time looking into?
100%.
Right? Or, maybe you operate a business and through operating the business, one of the biggest expenses is your employees. So then what if I was like, oh, hey, what if I showed you how to write off half your employees? Would it be worth spending some time looking at doing?
Oh, for sure it would.
Right? And so it's kind of that realm of like, hey, let's just say you spend 40 hours a week to try and make this 300 a year, which you're probably spending more until you're going to spend a lot more on that until you figure out how to operate that business and like solidify shit. And even then you might spend more. Would it be worth maybe spending an extra 5 to 10 hours afterwards a week to make 300 instead of 200?
Yeah.
To me, dude, if you're spending 40 hours to make, so like in this realm, if you're spending 40 hours to make 300, but you're actually making 200, right? So 40, or so let's do 200,000 divided by 40. So you're spending, you're getting, 40 hours a week. Hold on, I did that wrong. So 40 times 52, 2,080. So 200,000 divided by 2080 puts that 96 an hour. Okay, 96 an hour. I might be doing this math wrong. Just follow me for a second. 96 an hour. 300,000 divided by 45. Let's just say you're spending 5 hours a week times 52 puts us at 128. So you're up $130. Or so you're up $30 an hour.
Yeah.
So is it worth spending 5 more hours a week to make $130 an hour compared to 97 to make an extra $30 an hour?
I think so.
Is it worth 5 hours to make an extra $30 an hour for 45 fucking hours?
Yeah, I would think so.
But a lot of people just, people are like, oh, well, my taxes is my duty and shit like that. Or like, I get to pay taxes. It shows I'm doing well. Sure. But have you guys been paying attention the last 8 years, 10 years, 12 years? Where the fuck's your tax money go, dude? Where the fuck's that money going? Not to good causes.
No.
They're trying to pass the big, beautiful bill right now. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, increase in wages for military and first responders. And Democrats are like, we're trying to cash checks we don't have. And it's like, yo, homie, the fuck's that 200 bill you guys sent to Ukraine? How about the over $1 trillion we've sent to fucking Israel? How about the $8 trillion we spent on the war on terror in fucking Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran?
That we started?
Oh, really? We had money and funds for that, but we don't? So we can fucking all live a little bit better life? Shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
You can also just the Medicaid bill that they're trying to go through right now that takes illegal immigrants off of Medicaid didn't pass.
Shut the fuck up, dude. It didn't pass.
Yeah, there was like 5 or 6 Republicans that voted no.
5 or 6, dude, kill them. What the fuck are we talking about,
Might have
dude?
actually been 10 Republicans. But anyways. Yeah, so that's where your taxes are going.
Yeah, dude. So you sit here, you pay taxes your whole life. It's your privilege to pay taxes. You get to live in the greatest state. Then they give that money away for free to people who break the law. How you like that? Or send it to countries that ain't doing nothing to benefit us. How you like that?
Yeah. Or to an office lady that thinks it's her duty to buy unlimited amounts of decorations for their office that nobody sees.
Dude, that's just a little brush on the surface.
Well, you got to think of, so we know of one office branch that does that. Think how many of those offices there are.
Thousands. How about the couple mil DHS stole in just Eau Claire alone that just fithered away, just off into the ether?
And nobody got any repercussions from it?
No repercussions. The individual investigating it
Killed himself.
killed himself. Weird.
Right before the investigation was done, too.
Weird.
Because then a different sheriff took it over, and then it was done within 2 months.
Done in 2 months. Nothing happened. Fucking weird, dude. Weird. In a little old Eau Claire. So yeah, dude, math that shit together.
Yeah, I mean, if that's happening here, it's happening everywhere.
Everywhere. So, dude, what the fuck? And that's just one department. That's one department. What the fuck is it like when you figure in every department? Do I just go
every city, every state, everything?
Come on. Just going in to the fucking county here, or the court, is that what's the courthouse or whatever?
Yeah.
And seeing all the amount of fucking waste here is a joke. It makes me want to just fucking break skulls, dude. Nothing gets done. These useless, entitled motherfuckers who think they got too much power because they work for the government, because they steal your money, just sit around, useless fucks. Anyways, it is not a privilege to pay taxes. You are a slave. They steal your money from you.
Yeah.
So, is it worth 5 extra hours a week to figure out how to keep the money that you've earned? And you can't keep it all, but to keep a good portion of the money you earned. I think so.
Yeah, I think especially once you get past a certain threshold of income, it definitely makes it way more worth it. Because Andy talks about this, Rob Bailey talks about it, quite a few wealthy people talk about it, that they actually didn't start investing in real estate until they were pretty wealthy. So I think it makes a ton of sense once you pass a threshold of income.
100%, dude. That's even Corey Sanchez talks about this. It's like
Cody Sanchez?
Cody Sanchez, thank you. So,
Oh,
anyways, Cody Sanchez, she's like, you're not going to get wealthy by just investing what you make. The only way to truly get wealthy is have a high income and then use that money to protect your assets, to bring your tax burden down, shit like that.
yeah.
Which is very true. Don't think you're going to be massively wealthy making 50 G's a year investing in an S&P 500 or a mutual fund or buying a couple rentals. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Figure out a way to get a higher income, but then when you get that higher income, that's when you need to start figuring out how to write off that money, because you got to think, dude, you spend all this time working to make, you say you start out making 40, 50 a year. You spend all this time working to make 200, 250, 300 a year just for him to take 100 a year from you.
Yeah, that's wild.
This is absurd, dude. So you now double the amount of money is being taken from you that you started out making when you started your journey. So now you got to figure out how to save some of that money, store that money, not have it all taken from you. So,
because it's your hard-earned money, not the country's.
I couldn't agree more, dude. I can't stand taxes. All right. Oh. And then we got sales tax on top of it and property taxes. God damn it. You see Governor DeSantis trying to get rid of property taxes. If I fucking twist my arm, Florida, I'm on the way.
Yeah, seriously.
You
I mean,
you want me to move that bad? Keep going.
It makes so much sense because you pay off your mortgage, you own your house free and clear, but then you get this giant ass tax bill every single year. It's just like, well, then I don't actually own my property.
You don't own your property. And not to mention, how many properties did you and I look at that we did not proceed or did not like make offers on, whatever, because of the property tax bill?
Quite a few.
Quite a few, dude. Because it was seriously like this. This neighborhood's taxes is $3,000. This neighborhood's tax $6,000. It's an extra $3,000 a month we have to pay.
A year.
Sorry, $300 a month.
$300 a month.
So it's an extra $300 a month we have to pay just to live in the same house but a different neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple properties where I was like, oh, it's in the town of Washington. This could make sense to keep tax bill 6Gs. I'm like, the fuck is this, dude?
Mm-hmm.
This is absurd. So yeah, dude, I don't like that, like, because you don't get that money back. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that bothers me is like, okay, you might think that $300 a month is not a lot. I get it. If that $300 is going to my mortgage, okay. It's not. It's going to taxes. I'm never getting it back.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, I've got a hard time spending that kind of money on something I'll never get back.
Yeah.
If it's interest, I get to write it off.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you can write off taxes. It doesn't, yeah. But like interest, I'll write off. Mortgage payment, let's go.
The thing is that bothers me is like that money isn't actually going towards anything that helps us.
100%.
So there are other cities like in Wisconsin that we know of that their property taxes pays for their garbage and brush removal. And that's like cool. Like I think that, and their property taxes actually aren't that much higher than ours.
A lot of times they're less.
Yeah. So that's like, if I knew like, okay, we pay our property taxes, but if they tear out our road, we don't have to pay for anything. If I knew that was a thing,
It'd be a big difference.
It'd be a huge difference, but it's not. And we have to pay our own garbage. They don't do brush removal. Like it doesn't do any benefit towards us.
Anytime they're working on those roads, we're paying for it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if those taxes were actually going towards something that benefited us, I would be okay with it, but
100%.
It's not.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not loving it.
No.
So,
like, we just talked about this the other day. Eau Claire has 2 wheel taxes now. So the county has one and the city has one. And when they tear out these roads, the property owners still have to pay for it.
I'd love to know what those wheel tax are paying. Because nothing's changed for us. Now that we pay an extra $60 per vehicle, nothing's changed.
No.
I see no benefit from that.
I'm curious. So last summer they did Piedmont, and they had a sign that said like, "This is what the wheel tax pay, or this is paid for by the wheel tax," or something. So I'm curious if those homeowners had to pay anything.
Interesting.
But the thing is, that I think is shitty is, why does that one get to be paid for by the wheel tax, but ours doesn't?
Right.
So that's why I don't think it's fair, because it's like, how did you decide which one to use the wheel tax on?
Yeah, it's some bullshit, dude.
Like, instead, you should be dispersing it through all the projects and lowering the tax bill for everyone.
Better yet, don't charge it.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so if we figure there's 70,000 people in Eau Claire,
yeah,
everyone's got a vehicle.
At least one.
At least one. A lot of people got 2, 3. At least maybe that's
well, I
just
guess
me.
if you think about population, though, that counts children.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you want to know what? There's still probably that many vehicles.
Probably.
A lot of households have 3 vehicles.
Yeah.
So 70,000 by 60 puts us at 4.2 million.
You can't tell me that doesn't pay for all the road construction and everything.
That will not pay for all the road construction. 4.2 mil? No chance.
No, okay.
But what it would do is pay for a lot. It would pay for a ton of road maintenance.
Yeah.
Like, it'd pay for a good amount of road maintenance and shit like that, which could then lower your tax bill, or just have that for all road maintenance funding, and then your tax bill can go to actually paying for the roads and shit when those need to be done.
Well, I suppose, if you combine that and property taxes, that's probably going to be a good chunk of it.
I have no idea the amount of homes in Eau Claire. I have no idea anything like that. But I mean, if you're figuring 70,000 people, you're going to have 25,000 properties, like 25,000 houses.
At least.
So if you had 25,000 houses and you figure on average, you're dropping more than 2,500. Let's just say $3,000 on average.
Yeah.
You're at 75 mil. So you're at 80 mil all in between, that's, dude, at least.
That's insane.
What's it going to, dude? What are they doing with 80 mil a year?
I don't know. Even if it was less house, you'd still probably be at even at 50 mil. What are they doing with that?
I don't know.
Fuck,
It's
dude.
so much money, dude. I don't really know.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure, obviously some of it goes to, public transportation and
Sure.
snow plowing.
Sure.
Stuff like that. But that's still not 50 mil.
You wouldn't think so. I just think there's so much damn waste, dude. I just think there's so much waste.
Yeah. I didn't tell you, they're doing a new transit program on the north side because there's not a whole lot of bus routes up here,
Right.
obviously. And it's like Uber and Lyft kind of. So the fare starts at $1.50 or $1.75, and they can they'll either take you to another place in the north side, or they bring you to the transit station in downtown.
I think the biggest mistake we ever made is this country was built on train systems.
Yeah.
Country was built on train systems. And we just decided that we're going to quit using them.
Mm.
Or set up some fucking, what are they, just high-speed trams? Or high-speed railways? What are those?
Yeah.
Why don't we have those in any of our cities?
Right?
Why don't we use that shit, dude? It just doesn't make sense to me.
I know.
You could easily have had that shit set up to run on stops from downtown Eau Claire all the way up through Chippewa.
Oh, easily.
Easy.
Mm-hmm.
All the way down to Mondovi or whatever.
Well,
Maybe not even no, there's no reason it can't run to a smaller town like Mondovi.
100%.
Zero reason. You could make a path for it to run all the way to La Crosse. There's no fucking reason not to, dude.
100%.
And guess what, dude? Our property taxes could have paid for that. You fucking rats. Instead, dude, we didn't. So you could have had all that set up, and then you can have buses running, so you can figure out, this tram will bring me here. I get off my tram, and I get on the bus, and I roll home. And would that work for everyone? No. Would a lot of families still have a car? Sure. But it'd be a lot fucking less.
Mm-hmm. A lot less.
Your emissions and shit would be a lot less, but apparently we don't care about green energy, you fucking losers.
Yeah, as Bernie Sanders and AOC are flying in their private jet.
You motherfuckers talk all this shit, and you don't do anything to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
God, that pisses me off, dude.
Nothing more than taxes pissing Shaun off.
Fucking get me rolling on a Sunday morning, dude. Yeah, so anyways, I think it's probably worth your time, moral of the story,
Yeah.
to fucking save on some taxes, dude. You don't need to be giving that shit up. What else I got here?
Well, do we just want to end this one here? Or no? Sean's reading. Sorry, guys. Takes him a hot minute.
So don't buy a house.
We can throw that in here quick.
Don't buy a house. What do you want to say about it?
Houses cost money, obviously, right? But you need to keep up with them. There's quite a bit of maintenance and stuff that comes with owning a house. And if you can't afford that maintenance, you probably shouldn't own a house. If you can't afford the 3% down payment, you probably shouldn't buy a house. Because if you can't save up for a down payment, you obviously can't save up for any of the big maintenance that's going to happen. So you probably shouldn't buy a house. You look at other countries, like other first world countries, like a lot of European places. Most people don't own their house. Most of the population rent. And it's smarter to do that because your landlord will do all the maintenance for you, pay for all the maintenance for you, make sure your living is up to standards. They should be making sure it's up to standards. But it's not a bad thing to rent. It's really not. And I just think right now, like, it's always been the American dream to have a house with a white picket fence so your dog can run around in the yard, blah, 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 whatever. But I just think, especially with how things are right now and how nobody our age, I shouldn't say nobody, very few people our age have financial literacy in any way, shape, or form. It's just not a smart thing for the majority of the population right now to own. We've seen so many houses that are just fucked up, destroyed because people could not afford the maintenance and they just let them go. And now some of those houses will have to be torn down at some point because they're just so far gone. And it's just sad to see.
100%. I'm going to throw it this way at you. So, I don't know if you guys have looked at the rental market lately or not, or whatever, but they say you can spend 30% of your income on housing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't like that. I'm more conservative, so I'm always like 25%.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So let's go. Got a household income of 100,000. Times it by 25%, 25,000. Divided by 12, you get 2,083. Say $2,100. Okay. So you get $2,100 a month you get to spend. Now, your average house. Let me just pull up a mortgage calculator real quick so I can actually get some real numbers for you. Mortgage calculator. Okay, fill in some dead space, babe.
Because, like, I mean, an average house in Eau Claire right now is probably about 250,000. And that's what
I'd say most of them are around in 275.
275, yeah.
We'll
yeah,
go
yeah.
275.
And most of those ones aren't updated either. So we got to think too. You're going to probably be updating some stuff while you're living there.
How much of a down payment are we putting down? We're just doing 3%, right?
Yeah, just a 3%.
Because otherwise you get to keep that cheddar in your pocket.
Yeah.
So let's say.
So what would a 3% down payment be? Would it be close to $10,000?
Yep, it's going to be $8,250. So if you're buying a $275,000 house, okay? So you're buying a $275,000 house, and this is going to need maintenance and CapEx. You got a down payment of $8,250. You've got an interest rate of 7.5%, and you got a 30-year mortgage, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Your annual insurance on this is going to be $1,200. It actually might be more than that, but we're going to do that. Your annual tax is going to be $4,500. It's pretty common here on a house, that amount. So your total in a month is $2,340. So your total,
and that's without saving for CapEx.
Okay, thank you. Exactly. So your total in is $2,340. So we're already over by $240 because you want to live in your own house. Well, for those of you that don't know, in our area, if you want a 275 house, you're typically getting an outdated ranch.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're getting an outdated ranch. Awesome. You're going to need a roof at some point. You're going to need some siding. You're going to need shit like that. So when we do rentals, we save for CapEx, capital expenditures, big expenditures, your furnace, your roof, all that shit, and your maintenance, 10%. So if we're figuring that our monthly is $2,340, we got to save 10%, an extra $234 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are $500 over budget.
Yep.
Okay. But guys, really, would you please bear with me? You're talking about saving $2,800 a year. You're saving $2,800 a year. For those of you that owned a home, how much is the furnace? If you don't know any good connections, $4,500 if you call a regular company.
Yeah.
$4,500. It's going to take you 2 years to save up for a furnace. Hey guys, for those of you that don't know, on a normal ranch house, how much is a roof?
I mean, through us or through other people?
Because the thing is, dude, is you're going to have to shop around. I'm going to tell you, most companies are going to do it for 15.
I was going to say, that's what I was thinking.
So you got 15. So guys, say you're going to need a new roof. You're saving $2,800 a year, but your roof is $15,000. So $2,800. It's going to take you 5.5 years to pay for that roof.
Oof.
Is that going to be your only maintenance and CapEx in 5 years?
Nope.
I don't think so. You're going to have a leaky faucet in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So 5.5 years just to pay for that fucking roof. How much is siding for that same house?
Probably similar.
18 to 20. Another 6-7 years.
Yep.
So guys, that's not enough money to save. You realistically, for a little kind of outdated house, you got to be saving $500 a month minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So you're now at $2,840, $2,900. So you're $2,900. You're $800 over what we could have been spending, and you had to bring a down payment. And have you looked in our area of what a $2,100 rental gets you?
Dude.
Fucking luxury.
Yeah.
Shit's nice as can be.
Yeah.
You can get some you can get some nice 4-bed, 2.5, 3-bath houses with a decent yard for that.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You don't have to worry about a fucking lick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because God forbid you own your house.
Yeah.
But you own your own car too.
Bet you own your own car too.
What if something happens to that? Bet you take it out of your house fund.
And not to mention, so this is another thing. You get to write off a certain amount on your taxes. So you get to write off your interest payment if you own a house. You get to write off depreciation, and you get to write off if you're doing work to the house, right? Like if you've done some expenditures, did a roof, shit like that. You get to write that stuff off on your personal taxes. So that's good. That's a big benefit. Did you guys know you also get to write off rent?
And you don't get to write off your whole mortgage payment.
You don't get to write off principal. You only get to write off interest. Oh, wait, did we just all of a sudden maybe walk into having more of a write-off?
Yeah.
By renting.
Damn.
Weird. Shocker.
That's wild. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. So anyways, folks. Might not be worth owning a house.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, dude, I'm just so fucking different than I recommend to almost every person. Don't buy a house. Don't fucking start a business. Like, just do your thing, man. That's what I recommend to most people. And maybe that's bad, but it's how I feel.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
Fucking half tempted to move to Portugal, dude. Work for 40 G's a year and fucking eat pastel donatas all day and live in an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
Talk dirty.
Let's do it. Sell everything. Pick up and go.
That'd be a big tax burden if we did that.
Selling everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would hurt. That would hurt.
Well, we have someone else managing our rentals anyways, so I mean, we could keep those.
There you go.
Sell this house and pack up and go.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Tax free, baby. All right, gang, that's what we got for you today. And go get jacked.
Go get jacked.
Fucking don't figure out a way to not pay all your taxes.
And make sure to pay attention to your local elections.
Phew. Gang, gang.
Love it.
All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.